says you drive like a girl.
Does he?
Yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to a quite literally freezing Snetterton circuit. This is my local track here in the UK and I'm down with my Supercharged E92 M3 for some more track action. Promised you guys I was going to get this car on track when I can, and just keep my promise. Now, much like Brands Hatch, this is a very, very cold day. It's about 0-1 degrees, something like that. The car's a little bit better prepared this time because I have some nice Yokohama tyres on. They're not winters or anything, they are V105s, very regular, normal. We're going to go for the briefing in a bit, then I'm going to head out, do some sighting laps, and see, well, if we, how well we're going to do. Not many cars here today, there's only about 16 cars here in total, so it's going to be at least a quiet day, which is good because it means I'm going to get some space on track and be able to get some heat into the car, hopefully. So I've already dropped some pressure out of the tyres. I'm running about 28, 29 to start off with, and wish me luck. Alright, Snetterton, the story so far. This is my third time out on the track today. It's still pretty early in the day, it's only about, what is it, it's 10, half 10, something like that. So it's not late at all. Now, I had a little bit of an issue this morning. It's sort of ongoing with a little bit of brake wobble. You're probably going to see that in this video, but I think I know what it is, what the cause of it is, and hoping it's not going to affect the day too much because I think it's improving. So anyway, although it is no real warmer than it was when I was last on track at Brands Hatch, the conditions are just infinitely better. We got plenty of grip and I can have plenty of fun with the car. Now, Snetterton is my local circuit. It's also the circuit closest to the Lotus factory, and it's a circuit with some fairly famous connections. So Ayrton Senna, after whom the start-finish straight is named, actually did a lot of testing here in his younger days, in his Formula 3 or 3000, I can never remember which days. He worked for a team called Van Diemen, who I believe is still in existence and are a well-respected chassis manufacturer for the kind of open-wheel Formula cars. And he worked with them a lot, and they had a base here, or they were headquartered here. And so he did do an awful lot of driving, I suppose it probably would have been the late 70s, early 80s here, before he progressed onto bigger, better and faster things. Now, people might think that Lotus do an awful lot here because they are so close. They are literally about 10 minutes down the road. The truth is that they don't, and they never have, because they have their own track. Now, both Hethel and Snetterton share something in common, which is they both started off as airfields. I'm in an area of England known as East Anglia, and East Anglia was a hub during the Second World War for air bases, because it's sort of the bit of the country really that's kind of closest to continental Europe. And so there were heaps and heaps of RAF and US Air Force bases all over the place. Some of them still exist today, like RAF Mildenhall is not too far from me. Others, however, have long since gone, and some of them were closed, you know, as early as the 50s or so, and became things like racetracks and so on. So if you look at a lot of English tracks, they kind of got this kind of shape to them. You know, look at places like Silverstone, they're shaped like that because they all started off as airfields. So I'm going to give the car a few laps to warm up. There's a chap in a Peugeot behind me. I'll probably let pass just because I want to do the right thing. Get the car all nice and warm. And then we shall probably pass him in a little bit. So it's overtaking only on the straights with the exception of this corner, which is called Coram. Nice long right-hander. Now this is quite different to what it used to be. So Snetterton is now in what's known as the 300 configuration, which involves the infield. I'll point that out to you when we drive back over it. This corner here used to be called Russell's and is now called something else. What am I indicating for? Anyway, now called something else. So it used to not be a one big single radius. It actually used to straighten out a little bit beforehand and then become a sort of a bit of a sharp left. And it's still got the sharp left element, but doesn't really straighten out beforehand. So you've got to be really careful as you're piling around there. It's quite tricky, quite technical, and you're going to need to brake into it. So anyway, give the car another like half a lap or so and it should be up to temperature, because I haven't been off the circuit for too long. This corner's great, this is good fun. And actually, you know what? The last time I was on this track, and the only time I've ever been on track at Snetterton, is on two wheels. And as I say, the infield section was missing. And Snetterton really is a power circuit, a lot of straight, so it is really well suited to this car and its strengths. You know, especially now I can actually grip. See, look, third gear, foot down. Yeah, she grips and she goes. She's lovely. I am in MDM mode just to give myself a little bit of a safety net still. You know, I don't want to go into full hero mode just yet. It is still cold out there, and if you go offline, I suspect you'll find that the grip level is still not brilliant. Now I've got my Yokohama V105s on the car now, and they seem to be doing really quite nicely. What I hoped would happen has come to pass, which is to say that it's very chilly out there. Now it's not wet, but because the Yokohamas are a road bias tyre, they will get up to temperature relatively quickly, unlike many of the track tyres which need you to sort of beat on them to get some temperature into them for them to work properly. So, but because it's not that hot, I'm not cooking the tyres, or at least I haven't. Yeah, I'm sure I could if I stayed out for long enough in this car, because it is a big heavy car. I need to check the seat mounts in this. It's moving just ever so slightly, but also I definitely need to put harnesses in this thing. That's a must. Okay, so let's start driving properly. Now we're going to ring this thing right out to its 8.5 red line. We've got to be careful because we're approaching 150 mile an hour as we come to the end here. So again, just being a bit early on the brakes before everything's up to temperature. Now this is a corner called Bomb Hole, and Mika Hakkinen actually had quite a big smash here. It's on YouTube. I didn't believe it when someone told me, but then I looked it up and found the footage of the accident. Yeah, he made a real mess of his car there. This thing's a real constant radius corner. So the redevelopment of the circuit, which I forgot to point out to you, and I will point out to you, really made it a lot more technical track. So it used to be a pretty much nearly pure power track, and it isn't anymore. So it's a lot better for that, and it means it's a lot better for cars of different qualities. And it's a really quiet day today. We've only got about 16 cars out. So this is the new infield. So it used to be that when you got to that sort of 180-degree corner a couple of turns ago, that you would just go straight on to the back straight. Not anymore. Now you got this little infield section. I can't remember the order of the corners, but one of them's called Oggies. One of them's this one up coming up. I think it's called Hamilton. My dad actually broke his collarbone here on a motorbike, just turning in, not doing anything fancy, but yeah, came in and just slid off the bike and landed and heard the crunch apparently. And so there we go. That is the end of my second track day with the mighty M3. And I would like to think, and I hope you agree, that it's been a much, much bigger success than my previous outing. The car grips, the car goes. I'm really, really starting to gel with it. It's been wonderful. Everyone here has been super friendly and nice. I got some crazy people behind me with their M cars. So we've got an M3 and the M5 there that we're out on track with. So they are complete nutters. They're awesome guys. I actually passed the, well, I say passed, it's not fair. He was on his like exciting lap or something. The little Civic Type R. So if you're watching, buddy, Jake, then it's cool. Met loads of other guys, Harry and Cliff and all sorts of people. So actually, you know, people think this is a really antisocial thing to do. You know, circuits are being closed down. We lost Rockingham last year. All sorts of stuff is happening. But actually, I think it's a really, really social thing to do. And it's good fun. You get to learn your cars in a pretty safe, cool environment. So the video is going to end here. My next track day is at Cadwell Park. However, I'm not sure whether I will be bringing this or not, because Cadwell's a really super tight, twisty track. So tell me, do you think I should bring the M3 to Cadwell? I will be putting all the dates and stuff I do on my Instagram, on my Facebook, and I'll put it on the community page on the YouTube channel homepage. So follow me on there. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Please subscribe. I'm gonna head out, have one last session. If the video ends now, it means I had a good time and I didn't bend the car. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.